What's up guys, today I want to show you how I run my delta neutral for farming points on perp. Guys, before we start, feel free to check my X page and my pinned article. Here you can find what I'm farming and also pretty helpful, you can see value of a point for pretty much all the perp out there. Also, if you need invite and boost for points, you can find invites to all the perp. And from time to time, you can check the comments because if I have another perp in my view, I'll add it in the comments, the value of a point and the other insights. Before we start, I want to let you know that I've been only doing this for like 3 months. Before this, I was farming only doing my normal trading. But with the delta neutral, it seems to be a little cheaper. But if you are a good trader, you can run delta neutral and also take some organic trading on top of this and also cover the losses of the delta neutral. So first of all, if it's delta neutral, you should not lose anything, but you actually lose. You lose the fees paid to open and close the trades, and you also pay the funding, or you are paid by the funding, and you also lose money when you close a trade. The spread, the slippage, and also price difference between the two perp you are doing it. First, I will tell you some things to reduce your costs. So first thing will be limit orders. You want to be taker when you open a trade because being a taker you have lower fees. But if there is a big move at that time in the market, you might the position might go against you, and until you open the second trade, you'll actually lose more than paying fees. So I don't know, maybe it's safer to actually open them at the same time at the market. Before opening a trade, you want to set your slippage and try to have a low one like 0.105 maximum 1%, otherwise you'll lose a lot. And how you open the delta neutral? So you set 1k USDC here to buy long and 1k USDC here to go short. Second thing will be funding. You wanna check funding on both perp before you open a trade. That way you can earn some dollars while keeping your position open. You can do that manually, or there are some websites that already tells you everything. Like I've selected here 01 and variational, and the funding on 01 is negative. So when it's negative, you wanna go long, and on variational it's positive, and you want to go short, so you go long on Kaito on 01 and short on variational, and you earn on 60% APR on your position. Of course, this is changing hourly, or it depends at 8 hours, 24 hours. So you want to check this, but don't bother too much, like don't necessarily close a trade only because the funding is not in your favor anymore, because it can change later, and also you might lose more closing and opening another trade than suffering from paying funding. Another thing to reduce your cost will be when closing a trade, especially on low liquidity perp like 01, which is new. Let's take ENA. It has only 65k open interest. You don't want to close your whole position at once. You want to close it in batches, like 10-20% maximum, so you don't suffer too much from the spread. Fourth thing, what I like to do sometimes, but it can also go bad. Like let's assume you are on the market and you see a big move. Price went here. You're online. You can close the position in profit, like I told you, in batches, and let the losing one still run. And usually price makes a reverse very fast, like you see here. So you can then open again the trade you closed. You check how much the position size is, and you open again a short. Let's say you close it first. Let's say you catch it here and open another short here. So what will happen? You closed it, let's say, with $50 profit here, and this one, when it reached that level, instead of being minus 50, it was minus 40 or something, and that's basically your $10 profit. But that's just a way to reduce your cost. Of course, you can go the other way, and instead of, when you closed here, instead of going in reverse, it still goes more down, and in that case you lose. So I don't really advise on doing this, but feel free to try if you want. Another thing you want to do, it's to not have only one direction for your positions. So let's say I'm on 01 and here's Sodex. you don't want to go only long here and only short on Sodex. Why? Because if there is a big move like this one, all your position will go negative here if I was long here, and the liquidation price will actually go below your stop loss, and you'll get liquidated. That's why if you run half, like 3k in position long and 3k in position short, liquidation price will change a little, but it shouldn't go below your stop loss, and that way you don't get liquidated. Even with this delta neutrals, you want enough margin to have your liquidation price pretty far. Like for the safety of your funds, you'll need at least 20-30% difference between your mark price and the liquidation price. And also, when you set your stop loss, you want it at least 10% higher than your liquidation price. I would say even more. Like my liquidation price is 0.03 and I set it at 0.07 just to be safe. Even when running delta neutral, you still have to check your positions daily. I'll say at least once a day will be safe in case any big move happens and you have to close some of positions. But let's say you just go directional, like for a few days this week I went directional because the funding on all the markets was negative on 01, so I had to go long, and on Sodex funding was positive on all the markets I was interested in. So I was paid both on Sodex and 01 to have the trades open, but it was risky. So what happened is my positions on Sodex were in big profit, but here my account equity went down because I was a lot on minus. So I had to move some funds from here. I withdrew funds from here to have more on a 01 to don't get liquidated. So you have to move funds from time to time. That's why I say it's good to check them maybe once a day. Now, depending on how the perpdex is rewarding points, you wanna have, like here I'm just making a test to see if I get more by keeping more positions instead of like keeping two with higher position value. So you run your delta neutral depending on how the perpdex is rewarding activity. So here on 01 they gave more points to positions on low open interest markets. So Ethereum has high open interest market, and you want to trade lower OE. That's why I have more positions open on low OE, and I open on Ethereum just to make some volume. We can take for example a variational. Here you want to have a high open interest positions kept for a long time, so it's not really needed to have like here 7 positions open, just 2 3, but instead of 2k, here you need at least 10-50k to earn some decent points, of course. There are also perpdexes like Sodex, which they reward both having a high OE and also making volume. So beside running delta neutral, try and also make volume, but keep your cost low. That's pretty much all the ways I know to reduce your costs. So after this, you always want to set your stop loss and take profit on all of your positions, because if there is a big move, you don't want to get liquidated. So you check liquidation on both perpdexes on that market, and then you set it the same. There is a risk on one will trigger and on another it won't, but that's life. Thank you for watching, guys. Appreciate your support. Don't forget to check my X page if you will need inspiration in picking maybe another perpdex for farming. Have a good one. See you next time.